Hey, it's Coach Anderson from Mississippi Public Broadcasting Online, U.S. History from 1877 to present. We're going to pick up with lesson number 12 in our U.S. History Review, and we're going to look at Contemporary American History Standard 12. Remember what we said now. When you look at this particular test, that test blueprint is very, very important because what it does is it tells us where most of the test items are going to come from. And the last few lessons that we've talked about, whether it's civil rights, whether it's the Cold War, whether it's modern presidents, and then contemporary U.S. history, 10, 11, 12. That's where most of these test items will come from. So it's important that you understand and know that and make sure that you master those facts when it comes to those. Let's look at Standard 12. It says 1992 to present, explain key domestic issues as well as America's role in the changing world from 1992 to present. So that would be the presidency of William Jefferson Clinton through present day Donald John Trump. So today what we'll do is we'll start with these contemporary U.S. presidents, and Bill Clinton on the far left, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, of course, and Joseph Robinette Biden. And then, of course, if we were really doing it on the other side over here, you'd have, Trump again. So when you look at these presidents, what we're going to try to do is give you some ideas about some of the successes and the challenges that they faced. Here we're talking about the Clinton presidency from 1993 to 2001. Key foreign policy successes included NAFTA, the reduction in tensions in the Balkans with those wars, Vietnam, Middle East peace, and the key domestic policy successes and challenges included a balanced budget. He leaves office with a budget surplus. His ideas about welfare reform, economic expansion, FMLA, family medical leave, and then the crime bill. So these are some of the things that William Jefferson Clinton, of course, is responsible for. So the Dayton Accord with the Balkans Peace Treaty, and then, of course, him signing NAFTA, of course, that would relax trade restrictions between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. George W. Bush presidency from 2001 to 2009. Key foreign policy successes and challenges included the war on terror, the Iraqi war, the war in Afghanistan, NATO expansion. War becomes very big during the George W. Bush presidency. And it's all because, of course, what happens with 9/11, which we show you with the attack down there with the war on terror after 9/11. Key domestic policy successes and challenges include the No Child Left Behind, Medicare prescription drugs, tax cuts, homeland security as a cabinet post, are all things, of course, that come to pass under George W. Bush. Next that we see is President Barack Obama from 2009 to 2017. Key foreign policy successes and challenges include he's the one responsible for getting bin Laden hunted down and dealt with, Iran deal. The Iraqi war ends, Paris Climate Agreement. He puts the United States of America involved in the Paris Climate Agreement. The key domestic successes and challenges included the Affordable Care Act, which becomes Obamacare, the Dodd-Frank Act, the stimulus package, and then the expansion of LGBTQ plus rights. All right, next thing we have is Donald Trump from 2017 to 2021. Key foreign policy successes and challenges, the Paris Agreement withdrawal. He took America out of the Paris Accords. The U.S. MCCR to replace NAFTA. North Korean diplomacy, Middle East peace were some of the things that we could celebrate in terms of looking at Donald John Trump as President of the United States of America. Key domestic policy successes and challenges include his tax cuts that a lot of people criticize as being for the wealthy. Deregulation, immigration, build that wall, which he said needed to happen, of course, to restrict immigration. The wall, of course, controversial. A lot of people said it wasn't completed. Criminal justice reform, and then his COVID-19 response, who a lot of people would say was less than optimal. Joseph Biden, President of the United States of America 2021 to 2025. Key foreign policy successes and challenges. Afghanistan withdrawal, a lot of people looked at as being, of course, a little bit of a failure in that how it was handled and planned. The vaccine distribution, the Paris Agreement. He returned America to the Paris Accords and his support for Ukraine. Key domestic policy successes and challenges, the American Rescue Plan, the Infrastructure Act, the American Families Plan, and racial equity were all things President Biden is responsible for. And here you see him on the right side of the Biden signs the American Rescue Plan that was created to bring America out of the beginnings of a possible recession after the Trump presidency. We have, once again, outlined a lot of the facts, of course, that you need to know, of course, to be successful when it comes to the state test in U.S. history. And once again, what we try to do is to give them to you by president, and what they're designed to do is to give you some ideas about what some of the highlights in more detail that each one of these presidents are responsible for. And as you can see, it's a lot of those. And once again, if you want to learn a lot of information fast, flashcards. They'll allow you the opportunity, of course, to find a study buddy so that you can master some of this. And once again, keep in mind, standards 10, 11, and 12, contemporary United States American history, is where a lot of the information comes from. So it behooves you to do your best that you can to master as much information as you can. What we have done is try to go through and give you some ideas about a quick overview of all U.S. history starting in 1877 with westward expansion and coming up to today with Donald John Trump, as the President of the United States of America. In order to be successful in that test, there's a certain amount of information as a baseline that you're going to have to know. And what we try to do is to give you some ideas about what some of those facts are. If you can master those facts, and then if you can just pay attention to time frames in terms of when things happen, you should be okay when it comes to the state test, when it comes to U.S. history. Because I keep telling you, it is the most important test in my mind because it is the last test. And once you get that one behind you, you can relax, enjoy your senior year, enjoy your friends, and look for the next step. And that's, of course, it's being in somebody's college, hopefully, or in somebody's, at somebody's job. This is Coach Anderson from Mississippi Public Broadcasting Online, U.S. History from 1877 to present. Study hard, do well, and with that, we'll see you next time.